Heading into now a big story that's coming in. Remember, one case that shocked everyone across the country. Cash piles found at a serving judge's house. Now, he had denied all the charges. He said he doesn't know where that money came from. But the government is now weighing an impeachment motion against the judge. This could be unprecedented. Justice Yashwant Verma was earlier indicted by the top court investigation panel. The government will also keep opposition in the loop on the impeachment because it cannot just be a government decision. They'll have to take into consideration other legal views as well. Under the Constitution, removing a High Court judge isn't that simple. It hasn't happened a lot of times. It requires a motion in the Parliament passed by a two-third majority only after the President seeks the CJI's opinion. So there are multi-layered approach here. And this, remember, is after all the judiciary. It's the highest of the highest bodies of this country and a lot of faith in the judiciary. A three-member in-house inquiry committee has confirmed cash was indeed recovered from the residence of Justice Verma, who was then a sitting judge of the Delhi High Court. A panel was led by the Chief Justices of Punjab and Haryana and Himachal Pradesh High Court. A judge from Karnataka submitted the findings of the case. Report was handed over to the CJI on 5th of May. Here's what I know so far that I can confirm to you. The committee confirmed that there was unaccounted cash at the judge's residence. Now, that's something that Justice Verma hasn't been able to really defend and explain. He's now been, remember, moved to the Allahabad High Court. But as Srishti Oja, India Today's legal correspondent, joins us. Srishti, if this impeachment motion goes ahead, how unprecedented this could be? Could this really happen? And why do you think the government is mulling on it?
It's rare, but we have seen impeachment procedures being initiated against High Court judges in the past. Also, as far as this particular case is concerned, when we talk about impeachment of a High Court judge, we refer to a procedure that has been laid down under the Constitution and also the Judges Inquiry Act. Now, the Constitution clearly states that a judge will not be removed from his office except by an order of the President, which can be passed after an address by each House of the Parliament, but it has to be supported by a majority of the total membership of that House and also by a majority of not less than two-thirds of the members of that House present. Now, this is what the Constitution states, and the Judges Inquiry Act lays down a detailed procedure that has to be followed in cases of motions for impeachment against High Court judges. Now, we also spoke to legal experts to understand whether the entire detailed procedure against the Judges Inquiry Act, which also involves constitution of another committee, will be followed in this case also, considering the CJI himself has already sent a communication to the President and the Prime Minister recommending that such proceedings can be initiated, considering the concerned judge has refused to resign or take a voluntary retirement. According to the legal experts, the detailed procedure will have to be followed as laid down under the Judges Inquiry Act 1968. Now, what's the procedure? Firstly, there has to be a signed notice that has to be given by 100 members, at least 100 members to the Speaker in Lok Sabha, or 50 members in case of Rajya Sabha. Once that motion is admitted, the Speaker or Chairman has to then constitute a three-member committee to again investigate into the grounds on which the removal of such a judge has been sought. So this committee will comprise of a Supreme Court judge, a High Court Chief Justice, and a distinguished jurist. Again, a proper detailed inquiry is then conducted by the said committee to come to a conclusion.
Okay.
In this case, an opportunity is also given to the concerned judge to not just present his case to, but also to cross-examine people if he wishes to. Once that report comes in, the Speaker and Chairman, depending on what exactly stated in the report, they therefore take up a call to present it before the concerned houses. If the concerned amount of the required number of people then pass it, then it further goes to the President and a final call is taken. So it's a detailed procedure even once such a motion is presented before the Parliament, before a final decision can be taken, and an inquiry committee is constituted, which again goes into the allegations to see whether or not the offence or the allegations which have been made out against the judge are prima facie made out or not. Back to you.
Stay on with me because Anisha Mathur also had a conversation with Kalyan Banerjee. I want you to listen into what he has said, because remember, this could be historic in so many ways. There have been instances, but in a case, all of this on camera when the cash pile was found. Let's listen into what some of the views are.
what happens now with regard to what is the procedure for impeachment proceedings against a judge, especially if there is an in-house committee report that has been sent forward by the Chief Justice of India?
You see, if the Honorable CBI has referred the matter for impeachment to the President of India, in that case, the Honorable President of India has to refer it to the either house of the Parliament, because impeachment only can be made in the Parliament itself. And there the two-thirds majorities are required in both the houses. Therefore, impeachment only can be done by the Parliament. If the government moves the motion, then in that case, support two-thirds support are required in favor of the motion. That is the impeachment procedure.
All right, so that's the big story coming in. Remember that this could be a huge decision. Of course, like I said, this needs a full-on protocol. It will be a motion passed in the Parliament. He is currently posted at the Allahabad High Court, not really taking over judicial matters though. However, there's been a transfer. Many had questioned if the transfer was enough. Take a look at this visual. The visual of basically that there was a fire at his residence. Just to remind you, the police officials, firefighters joined in, only to their shock realizing that there are bundles of cash. Now, at that juncture, there was a secretary who asked the Delhi police to return. Justice Verma says, I wasn't even at home. Who was allowed to go through and why? And that he has nothing to do with this unaccounted cash. But could this now become perhaps a huge trouble for him?